Hello everyone, this is Tom from Dirk Witte Music Store in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Today we're taking a look at a very cool vintage Gibson from the 1960s, which was kind of like an entry-level slash student line model of that time. But this one is actually in a very nice shape and also looks super killer. This is a 1965 Gibson ES-125TC, which then stands for thin line and cutaway. In its original sunburst finish, which is actually kind of hard to see because this burst has faded like incredibly, an incredible bunch. Like there's very little left really of that sunburst because it used to be like a cherry sunburst, so bright red on the edges, and then kind of like a lighter color in the center, but it is almost like the exact same color all the way around on the top. But I just think that this actually looks super cool. That it definitely gives it a very unique character of its own. So yeah, very cool to have in the shop, and again on top of that it is also in a very nice shape. So yeah, the Gibson ES-125 was actually, like I said, kind of like a student level model made by Gibson, actually made probably first in the 1950s. Back then it was like a big hollow body, like arch top without a cutaway, but then also still had just one P90 in the neck position. That's kind of like what they have all in common. So a single neck P90 in the neck position. Although that these are kind of like the more cheap models, they are still 1960s Gibsons and 1950s Gibsons, so made by those same people using the same materials. Neck shapes very much in line with what you would find on like other models from that time, and just all of that same build quality, and also the P90 that you would also find in models of those days. So yeah, very cool model, very cool to have in the shop, and again it looks quite killer. So let's dive into the specs. Like I said, we've got a hollow thin line body with a cutaway, so no block in the center. It is completely hollow, so dual sound holes, and it is then made out of a laminated maple. So on the top, back and sides. There on the sides it is actually in a cherry red finish. Then again on the top, sunburst, or what is left of it. Got just a one dog ear P90 in the neck position, original from 1965. Original pickguard in this tortoiseshell material, faux tortoiseshell material, which is also in a pretty nice shape. Actually still quite straight, so not a lot of warping going on. And it is also yeah, not showing any sort of cracks, so that is very nice to see. Your original bracket over here. One volume and one tone control for your single P90 pickup. Obviously floating bridge made out of rosewood. And yeah, the former owner probably thought that the slots were a little bit too shallow, but now they are too deep. It still plays actually quite okay, except for the high E. That does have a bit of trouble having like sustain, and you know, you get kind of like a subtle sitar kind of effect. It is the original bridge, but it is definitely good to know that that has been done. It has probably also been done in order to kind of like lower the action, because especially here on the bass side, it is already like decked down all the way with the adjustable screw. So yeah, the former owner then just thought like, oh, might as well just saw these slots in and make it a whole lot deeper. So yeah, kind of interesting, kind of also then like part of the story, but probably would recommend kind of having something done in order to improve the playability of it then. But again, it just still plays as is. Got the original trapeze tailpiece. Got your strap button over here and your input jack over here on the side. No second strap button, so that is actually quite cool to see. So no one of those over here installed, anything like that. And then we've just got some single ply binding around the top as well as on the back. Moving on to the neck, made out of mahogany with a yeah, pretty medium profile when it comes to the size. Maybe a tad smaller than medium, but overall very nicely rounded. Definitely a C shape. and it is also in a very nice shape when it comes to the finish or damage, as in dings. Pretty minimal. Obviously you do got some finish checking, which you then do also feel, but nothing extreme, so it plays very, very nice. Rosewood fingerboard with the 12-inch radius. Guessing that this has had a refret at some point, because these frets do look quite large to be the originals, so yeah, quite certain that those are non-original, but they are in a very nice shape, so probably a good thing, because the playability is just very good on this because of that. Still plenty of life left in that. Got the original nut, which appears to be made out of maybe like micarta or something. Definitely not bone, but kind of like the synthetic material that Gibson used in those days, which I believe is micarta. And it is original because you can see that there is some lacquer over there on the sides of the nut, so indicative of that it has been on there for quite a while. Got the Gibson silkscreen logo over there on the headstock, just a plain black truss rod cover, and then on the back the original Clusen 3 in a row tuners with the plastic buttons. And then, last thing to mention, it also comes with its original cardboard case, or like a chipboard case, which are not that great in doing their job in protecting your guitar, but they are the original kind. So, and then that one is the original one that came with this guitar. So it's kind of like cool to have for historic purposes, but definitely I would recommend getting a more modern style case that is actually like a hard case for this cool guitar, because you do want to take good care of this one, because it is a very cool Gibson ES-125 and an actual old one from 1965, so best to take good care of it, and yeah, make a lot of music in it, make a lot of music with it in the coming years, so that you can do that for another 60 years. So yeah, very cool guitar. It looks super killer, and it also sounds very, very good. Just got the one P90 obviously, but you can still get a plenty of tones with that. So yeah, very cool guitar. Let's hear what it sounds like. But first, if you're interested in this 1965 Gibson ES-125TC in its original summer's finish, be sure to head over to the links in the description for further details. If you enjoyed this demo, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more cool weekly demos of cool electric guitars like these, or cool acoustics, bass guitars even, of that really cool stuff. Also be sure to like us and follow us on our socials, Instagram and Facebook. Links are also in the description. With all that being said, let's see what this 1965 vintage Gibson ES-125TC sounds like. I'm going to be playing it through the Marshall JTM45 Bluesberg saw amplifier, with a little bit of reverb. So let's move on to that part, and let's take this very cool 1960s Gibson hollow body thin line guitar for a spin.